Hi, everybody. My name's Jenny. Thanks for joining me for a hour-long restorative practice. I'm happy that you're here. Those of you that are new to restorative, it's a very restful practice where we never really stand up. There's maybe one or two postures in the restorative repertoire that involve standing, but we're not doing this tonight. But most of our restorative practice is just very gentle, long holds, postures, anywhere from 2 to 5 to 6 minutes, where we just allow ourselves to be still and get settled in the shape so that the muscles can shift and grow space, and so that the fascia can release, so we can alleviate some aches and pains and stiffness in the body, as well as create some quiet between thoughts, and really just let ourselves detach from any stress, or even not stress, just thoughts from the day, and just spend some really meditative time in peace and quiet. So that's what we're going to do for the next hour. I recommend that you have 2 yoga blocks. I have mine set up for supported fish, which is where we're going to begin. I also recommend that you have maybe a blanket, maybe some socks on your feet if your feet get cold. Once we start to slow down, the body temperature will drop a bit. So maybe a sweater nearby or a blanket. This is a big bolster. You might want one of these as well. And then I am usually very quiet during our restorative practice. I get you in and out of postures, and I will demonstrate them here with you. But for the most part, I like to give you nice long bouts of silence, so you can just enjoy the peace that this practice is meant to bring. So with all that being said, let's get started in supported fish with the yoga blocks underneath the upper spine. So I have my blocks shaped in the capital letter T. One block on its lowest height, long ways. The other block on its medium height, sideways. And there's some space between the top of the T and the bottom of the T for your neck to hang out as we're going to lie on these blocks. And I'm going to get our timer going. And if you have my restorative playlist, you can play that on shuffle now, or any ambient music that you'd like, or even go without music. So the lowest block is going to go between the shoulder blades, and then your head is going to rest on that block that's on the medium height. You could lower it if you wanted to. Kind of find this space where it can really open your chest. And the legs can go long. You could take the bottoms of your feet to touch and your knees open to the right and to the left. You could, if you have any low back strain, you could keep your feet planted and your knees pointing to the sky. So totally up to you what's the most comfortable, most conducive for rest. And then once you find whatever shape that is, whatever variation of this posture that is, just allow yourself to kind of settle in that pose. Releasing any fidgets or lingering energy in the fingers and toes and the body. The body can be still. Start to slow down. Your eyes here, you've not yet done so. Just enjoy the peace that simplistic action brings. Taking away the responsibility to even have to look at anything right now. And we'll start to really just allow that peace to transcend from head to toe. Starting with your expression, you release any gripping, any rigidity that you find, even the smallest of spaces. Check in with the creases of your eyes, the inside, the outside. Unfurrow your brow. And let your cheeks fall here, really heavy towards your jawline. And unclench your jaw, removing your top teeth from your bottom teeth. Lighten the pressure of your tongue as it rests against the roof of your mouth. Bring your awareness to the props that are holding you up, the yoga blocks underneath your head and between your shoulders. Let your head be fully held here. Maybe even slightly draw your chin towards your chest to lengthen out the back of your neck. Bring your full awareness to the yoga block that is housed between your shoulder blades. And you let your shoulder blades wrap around the edges of that block, just as a fitted bed sheet would a mattress. So from there, some more room in the chest, more space around the heart. Maybe the shoulders can pour open even more. With all that space, maybe there's some more room to breathe, really deeply, really fully. Start to slow it down here. Here, begin to take longer breaths in through your nose. Fill and expand your lungs, your chest. Let your belly start to inflate like a balloon, no restrictions. Really long, complete breath out. Maybe the body gets a little bit heavier. Slowing down the cadence, the rhythm of your inhales and exhales. Take a deep breath in, slow down, fill up. Long, complete breath out. And empty. We have just a little over a minute left here in this pose. That 60 seconds or so, you allow your breath to become all that you hear, all that you feel, and all that you think about. Everything else just kind of shifts into the background. It's a little quieter, a little less significant. And all you hear is the sound of the breath as it comes in and out. Without disturbing any of this peace that we've created. Trying to move really slow and step out of the habitual rush. Maybe here, just start by wiggling fingers and toes, come out of the shape. Bend your knees and plant your feet. Gently roll off your yoga blocks to either side. Landing in the fetal position for just a moment. Just to pause. Remove your props out of your way. And then go ahead and lie flat on your spine. And here maybe you take a big star, a pentacle pose. Opening up the arms to the back of the mat, the heels to the top two corners of the mat. And just expand into this shape here. All that space we've created in the heart line. In the upper body. Breathe into that space now. You bend your knees and plant your feet. Go ahead and lift your hips and slide the yoga block underneath your low back. The block is on its lowest height sideways so that it can fully hold and support the weight of your hips. And so you'll know if it's too high, you'll feel too arched, the butt down low. You'll know if it's too low, you won't feel supported enough. So that sweet spot where the hips are fully held Land there. Hands can come down by your sides. Eyes are closed. And we'll rest in this shape for 5 minutes now. I often talk about in my restorative practice how we have these physical, symbolic rituals of detaching from our day. All day long, even if it's not a necessarily stressful day, we're like sponges. We absorb the energy around us, the interactions that we have, the things that we read, things that we experience. Even unknowingly, sometimes we attach, or they attach to us. And so when we come home from our day, typically there's a ritual of perhaps putting off your shoes, setting down your briefcase or purse, getting out of your work clothes and putting on more comfortable clothes. Symbolically, physically releasing your day so that you can relax and be home. We don't necessarily have quite the same thing to release the energy or the stress from the day, to set that aside. So sometimes it can stick with us and make it difficult to fall asleep, difficult to be present in our moments with others. This restorative practice is meant for just that. Set aside anything you don't need to carry in these moments. The mind will tend to wander habitually back to what it normally wanders to. Just pull it back here. I'll mind the time. Nothing to worry about, think about, or do. Awareness to your inhales, your exhales, and just enjoy these moments to nothing else. Set everything else aside. We are halfway through our 5 minutes here. It's 2.5 minutes left. Final 60 seconds here. Last breath in. and out. Ground down into the soles of your feet. Lift your hips, remove your yoga block, and then lower your seat back down to your mat. Nice and slow, and there's no rush. Once again, stay for a pause just to land and get grounded. And now gather your knees in. Give them a squeeze. Let's take a spinal twist to the left. So knees fall over to the left side of the space. Arms tee out wide as you shift your gaze to the right. And now notice here, if your knees don't touch one another, that's a little bit of strain, too much strain for the low back. So a block between the knees, maybe a softer pillow or blanket if you'd rather, if the knees don't connect naturally. If the left knee doesn't touch the earth, you could slide a block or blanket underneath the left knee. And then here, see if you can kind of untuck your left shoulder out from underneath you. Let your gaze follow your right fingertips. And we'll be in this pose for 4 minutes. This is our symbolic of releasing and bringing out. Perhaps in this time here, you can shed layers. Release any weight that's still on your shoulders and lighten the load that you carry. I'll let you know when we're halfway through our time here. Minutes. Those little halfway mile markers don't mean you have to shift anything at all. Just an opportunity to check in. Notice if your thoughts have wandered. Notice if the breath is shortened. An opportunity to come right back to the here and now. Final breath in and out. slowly and effortlessly back to your spine. Take your time. Land with your feet on the mat and your knees point to the sky. Maybe you heel toe the feet out wide and just tip the knees in towards one another. And just a breath here. And then gather your knees back in. Give them a squeeze. Let's take our spinal twist other side now. So the knees fall to the right, arms tee out to the right and to the left. And then shift your gaze to the left. So same little adjustments with the blocks. The knees don't touch one another. And the block or blanket comes between the knees. The right knee doesn't touch the earth. A block or blanket underneath the right knee. Arms stretched wide on top of the right shoulder. Shift your gaze to the left. We'll spend 4 minutes here. Two minutes remaining. Our halfway mark. It's our final minute. Last breath in. And breath out. This time, just fall into the fetal position on the right side. Take your time, you're halfway there. Just a curl onto the right side body. Let your right bicep kind of catch your ear. Maybe close your eyes. And let's lift ourselves up halfway. So Just press into the palms. Let's take deer pose. So deer pose starts with a cheerleader sit, the right leg forward, the left leg back, the left knee is down, and then the right shin is kind of parallel to the long edge of your mat. And I like to use my bolster for this one. You could use blocks as well, or no props, of course, is an option. You're going to turn to twist towards your prop with a lot of length in your spine, and then begin to come down onto the forearms, onto the prop. And then there's a couple different options for your head placement. You could rest on your right ear. You could rest on your forehead. You want the full spinal twist, getting the cervical spine involved. You would rest on the left ear. Now if that's too much, you can always retreat, you guys. And we're going to rest here for 3 minutes. Just kind of allow the props to hold you up. Close your eyes. The passive twist here, good for the digestive system. Also really nice on the left IT band and the front of the left hip flexor. And I've heard some people say they don't necessarily feel anything while they're in this shape. And that's okay. Some of our postures, you won't necessarily feel anything actively in them. But the work is being done internally when you start to hold postures for longer than 90 seconds. The fascia, that thin layer that wraps around the muscles, gets to release. So it's a deeper stretch than just a muscular stretch that you would definitely feel. It's getting deeper into the tissues. Sometimes the biggest shifts happen when you're unaware of them. You just allow yourself to rest here. You're creating space. We are almost halfway done with our 3 minutes here, you guys. 90 seconds left. We'll take our final inhale in this moment and exhale. Move slow, no rush. Your hands to guide you up. Lifting the chest first, and then perhaps you take a little counter twist over to the left side just to neutralize the spine. There's a breath in here and out. Chest back to neutral. Let's take a wide forward fold before we shift to the other side. So lean back into the hands, plant the feet, and then you'll take your legs out to a V. It doesn't matter how wide the V is, you don't want to have the knees bent. So if the knees bend, just kind of shorten the distance between the legs. And blocks or bolster or both here. Lengthen your spine. So maybe shimmy on the seat a little bit, or take one hand in front of you and behind you to shift the pelvis forward, so that you can sit nice and tall. Take a breath in, and then exhale, begin to fold. We'll come into our wide fold for just 3 minutes. Notice in forward folds, if you do begin to fidget, this is a great space to calm the mind. Forward folds are really good at quieting a scattered mind and calming the nervous system. And so we tend to resist that. We're not used to it as much as we are going. So you might tend to fidget in these folds and sit up and down. Or instead, can you let your head hang really high? Maybe it rests on arms or blocks or something. Close your eyes and just breathe. I'll let you know when we're halfway through our 3 minutes here. Ninety seconds left for your halfway mark. Could lower the height of your props if you'd like to. Just stay and deepen exactly where you're at. Last breath in and out. Use your hands to help you up. Take your time. Shift your props out of the way. We're going to come into our deer pose on the left side now. So tuck the left leg in and pull the right leg back. Right knee points forward. And take your props over to the left side now. Kind of shooting out of the hip. If you use your blocks, you can put them short end to short end to kind of make shift a bolster. Lots of length through the spine, especially the low spine. Breathe in as you twist. And as you breathe out, come on down. Forearms maybe. You could rest on left cheek or your forehead or your right cheek. Whatever's most comfortable. We got 3 minutes here, you guys. Close your eyes. Get nice and cozy. And I'll let you know when we're halfway through. Have 90 seconds left here. Halfway through. Final inhale. In this pose, and nice long exhale. Use your hands now. Take your time. Lift your chest. And a little counter twist to the right, and that full breath of air in and out. Now turn back to the left, and we're gonna take our sleeping swan or our pigeon pose on the left side. So left leg's already almost there. Just kind of twist and turn so the left shin comes forward and it's parallel-ish to the top of your mat. Right leg tucks straight back behind. And you'll lift and lengthen your spine, maybe sliding a block underneath your left hip or underneath your forearms or forehead. And then go ahead and rest down onto the forearms. And this one's one of our more intense shapes. So notice how the body reacts to that. Notice if you begin to grip into your hands, your jawline, or stay up high, even though the body could allow you to go a little bit lower. No judgment, just observing. And then see if you can set aside any of that strain that you find. Anything that is creeping back up. Breathe through it all. We're going to stay for 4 minutes in this exercise, and I'll let you know when we are halfway through. Okay, so we're a little over our halfway mark. 2 minutes left. We have just about 30 seconds left. 3 really deep, full rounds. And then nice and slow, use your hands to lift your chest. Shift to your left hip. Let's send the legs straight ahead. Just for a moment. Kind of wiggle them around. Get the blood flowing to the back line of the left leg especially. And then let's take that same shape other side. So the right shin forward, left leg straight back behind you. Lift your chest here. Tuck the left toes to lift the left leg so it's nice and long and lengthened. And then you might need props on this side and you didn't on the other, and that's okay too. Find your variation of this pose on the right side and then settle in. We're going to spend our 4 minutes here. And nice, peaceful, quiet. I will let you know when we have 2 minutes left to go. Two minutes left here. Soften where you can. Thirty seconds left here. Take your time. Press into your palms, lift your chest, and shift to your right hip. Then your legs straight ahead. And we'll take a forward fold before we come back to our spines. So legs are straight, shimmy your seat so you could sit tall. And you could do props for this one or no props at all, as long as there's no pain in your neck. If there is, you're going to want to have a place to rest your forehead down. And so lengthen your spine by shimmying your seat and breathe your arms up. Big inhale. Exhale, fold up and over your legs. Hands land anywhere, so no need to even reach for your feet. But then just allow your upper body to fall.
Maybe the block touches your forehead, maybe not. We're going to spend 4 minutes here. And every exhale, just allow the upper body to get a little bit heavier. Clench your jaw. Slow the rhythm of the breath down. And this shape has so many calming effects. And you try to be fully present here to let all of that calm really take place, really sink in, help facilitate that peace.
For 2 final minutes here in this pose. Final 3 rounds of breath here.
Take your time.
Stack your spine, lift your chest. Move your props. Maybe you bend your knees and lean back in the palms. Move the chest. You could take a reverse tabletop. That might feel really nice after that big fold. When you're ready to, come on down to your spine for Shavasana. And so maybe you do legs up the wall or take blocks underneath your knees. If you have any low back pain, that'll feel really nice and supportive. You could come into that big pentacle pose that we started our practice in, or just lie flat in traditional Shavasana. Palms facing up, eyes closed. Awareness to the entire parts of your body that touch the earth, and just let each part feel a little bit heavier, more held and supported. These final few moments of our practice, so important. Got no hats to wear, no roles to play, no responsibilities or places to be right now. So just let yourself be here. really peaceful, really restful in your Shavasana, no worries. The breath is gentle now, the eyes are softly closed. And just enjoy the rest of this time that you've gifted yourself. I'll leave you here in Shavasana. I'm so grateful for your practicing with me today. Blessings on your journey. Namaste.